Sunday 6th of March 2011, and I'm down at Ham Street in Kent doing Freewalk 106. This is one of those split stations. This is a 11 or 14 mile walk depending on how I get on. It's an early start for me as well, 11:15 at the moment, having got the HST down to Ashford. Come down this way because of the weather, which looks like it's going to be the brightest in the southeast today. This walk's going to involve, no, it's not going to be as damp as last week, that's for sure, but a lot of the Royal Military canals on this walk, and the potential for hearing nightingales in the spring in the wood that I'm shortly going to pass through. So that sounds promising, although it might be a tad early. Anyway, as I say, it's 11:15. Hoping to be done by around 5:30, depending on which version of the walk I do. Let's press on. So, just about 4 minutes in, and we're about to enter Ham Street Woods National Nature Reserve. The wood that I mentioned a few minutes ago, where nightingales live, apparently. Right, this information board offers various trails through the wood. It's been an N&R since 1952, and apparently it's one of the best stretches of lowland forest in southern England. It's quite cold today, about 5 degrees I'd say, but relatively dry underfoot. Let's hope it stays that way. And the sun's breaking through, which is brilliant. Lovely, perfect walking weather, really. The plethora of birdsong in here, great. Now about to follow the Saxon Shoreway, having just left very briefly the Greensand Way. Well, it looks like I spoke too soon, because this footpath through the wood is equally as bad as last week, if not worse actually, because there's nowhere for the water to run off. Surprising on greensand, it usually absorbs it. Well, there you go. Okay, just prior to section 2 of the text, just going to turn off the Saxon Shoreway here. Sorry, we're going to turn off the Greensand Way and follow the Saxon Shoreway right, past this interesting host. Wind's picking up again, so the muffler might have to come out today. Not easy to use, but at least it keeps the wind out of the sound. Early March, the catkins are now turning brown and dropping. No nightingales today, unfortunately. In fact, it's quite quiet bird-wise out here. Views across Romney Marsh from a point near Turve's Farm, which is that building there in the distance. So here we have the Blue Anchor in Ruckinge, which is suggested as an early lunchtime stop, but I've only been walking 45 minutes. It's 11:30, so I think that's a bit premature. Anyway, guess it depends when you start the walk. Another one of those ancient village signs that we saw up in Norfolk the other week. The Norman Church of St Mary Magdalene, Ruckinge, and from another angle towards Marsh Road. Looks like the military canal is that banked up stretch ahead of me, where those two women are walking that I saw earlier at the station. I think they're doing the same walk. Mentioned in the text, the start of a long and featureless 2.5 kilometres along the Royal Military Canal, built to defend us against Napoleon apparently, in the event that he invaded, but he decided not to. Can't see this was going to be much good, but there you go. So, coming up to the footbridge mentioned in the text after 2.5 kilometres, but just prior to that we've got this marker indicating 10 mile to Rye. Nice resting spot for those swans. Feathers everywhere. Now as we approach Warehorne, remnants of a more recent war. National Trust maintained this section, but my onward journey now is up Arrowhead Lane. Yep, orange. St Matthew's Church, Warehorne. Not the name I said a minute ago. Warehorne. It's 12:30 now, so an appropriate place to stop for lunch, seeing as this is the village where the recommended pub is. That's the recommended lunchtime pub, the Woolpack Inn, a 16th century free house by all accounts. Yeah, I'm having problems finding a seat in this churchyard, incredibly. Well, I couldn't find one in the churchyard, but I have found something opposite on this little green here. So this will have to make do. Okay, on the edge of Warehorne now. Lunch has been had, it's 1 o'clock. So I'm a lot earlier than usual. Hopefully might get the 14 miler done today then. There's a view of the marshes. In the very far distance, those horrible wind farms down at Rye, I think that is. Terrible. Canal down there, which I'll probably be rejoining later on the National Trust section. Kenardington Church up there in the distance, which is apparently where we're headed. Rather interesting footbridge across the more interestingly named Horse Marsh Sewer, which must be this. Closer view of St Mary's, which is apparently built on a Saxon fort, which might explain why it's so far away from a village. Interesting features, like that round tower on the side. So that's St Mary's, Kenardington. The view back to Warehorne Church from Kenardington Church. Here's the little lambs out already. Yep. Having just passed Sly Corner, we're now walking through Great Heron Wood, which is great. Just about enough room to pass through the trees on this path. Really is jungle-esque in here. Following this wood for about 1 kilometre now apparently. Fantastic mosses in here. Brilliant. Lovely colours. Short boardwarded section mentioned in the text, passing over very boggy ground here in Great Heron Wood. British vineyard. Wind farm in the distance. Horns Place Chapel. Chapel and the lake from another angle. So here we are at the pew, not much of it, but quite a decent view if it wasn't for these transmission lines. And the omnipresent wind farm again. Suggested afternoon tea stop, which is open on a Sunday afternoon, interestingly enough. Now in Appledore. Information board here outside Appledore Church. Informing us that it's 2:30. Clearly the information board's telling us that once upon a time Appledore was on the sea. And the good news at this point is that Man United are losing 2-0 to Liverpool, half time. Beautiful. Let's hope it stays that way. Okay, just leaving the village of Appledore in Kent, as opposed to the one in Devon. Turkey plucking. And we're now about to follow the Royal Military Canal, which at this juncture is National Trust property. Information board here telling us about kingfishers, grey herons, and as in the text, the marsh frog, which came over from Hungary in the 30s, and also telling us about the Royal Military Canal being built as defences against the Napoleonic invasion. 28 miles long, from Seabrook in Kent to Cliff End in East Sussex. Interestingly enough, it's in both English and French. Can't imagine any French scholars want to come over and learn about a potential invasion by Napoleon. There you go. Horse just coming into flower along the Royal Military Canal. Pretty easy walking this, even though I've got a bit of a calf strain. Not to worry, stretch that out. There's the old church I was at earlier today. Marshland views. Still walking alongside the Royal Military Canal, just prior to the railway bridge mentioned on the outskirts of Warehorne. One of those strange bridges again, you have to clamber over. 250 metres prior to the railway bridge, which is over there in the distance. The sun's come out now, and I do believe Man United have lost 3-1, which is a bit of a shame that they scored, but there you go. Well done, Kenny. Well, unfortunately you can't go northeast diagonally across the field to Warehorne Church because this electric fence is here. I'm not sure if that's allowed. I have to check the map. But it looks like the farmer wants you to go around the edge. God knows how you meant to get past that field. Well, we're back at Warehorne Church again, interestingly. Not often I do a second visit to my lunch stop. And there's a last view of the Romney Marsh. The electric fence is just about passable if you're about average height. Anything less and you won't get over it. Plenty of chaffinches chirping around there. Well, here we are back at Ham Street. Annoyingly missed the train by 4 minutes. It's now 16:09, so I've got to wait till 1700 before the next one back to Ashford. However, nothing can ruin my happiness, having just walked 14 miles in the Kent countryside and Manchester United losing. Always a delightful day when that happens, and that's 3 times now this year. Fantastic. So that's Freewalk number 106, the 14-mile longer version completed, and very delightful it was as well. Not too muddy, nice mixture of canal side walking and, more interestingly, woodland walking. So concludes another walk.